Tailgaters!
Oh, what's going on, my man? How you doing?
Yeah, we're not doing so good today. Buffalo J is on the IR.
Yeah, he is. Shit.
Oh.
That's not good. No bueno.
No. Blew out the knee today.
He's got a knee.
Running after the Amazon person. And, yeah, did a little tweakage. And, not so good. Got to get to the doctor probably tomorrow and find out how bad it is, you know? Could be ACL, MCL. I'm not quite sure, but we're in some pain.
Well, that's not
We're
good.
in some
That's not
pain.
good. Sorry to hear that. Buffalo J joins quite a few NFL players who end up on the IR, and we'll get into that later in our show today.
This is true.
But sorry to hear for your pain, bro. Welcome back to TD's Beers and Tailgates, week number 15. Fantasy playoffs, week number 2 for most people.
That's right.
Hopefully a lot of you folks are still in the playoffs and watching along with us tonight. And got a big game, or not a big game tonight, but we got a game tonight with
We got
Baltimore
a game that
and
might
the Jets.
actually have some good implications here if you're trying to get into your championship.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, Andrews, shit. There's some people hurting right now.
You know what? That's true. And like I said, Andrews and Jackson and this game, if it's goes anywhere Vegas thinking, they got a 16.5 point spread on the game.
Yeah.
The Baltimore guys could be out of the game early, especially with them being banged up. That could have quite an effect on some people's fantasy lives today.
What you got going on, brother?
Watched our video, bro.
Nice.
So, okay. So anyways, yeah, got a game tonight. Jay's hurt. We're back. Week 15.
Week 15.
Episode 1-5.
Wow,
All right.
man. Unbelievable.
Yeah, pretty cool. All right, so what are you drinking here today, buddy?
I am drinking me
buddy,
some
old pal.
Chili Waters. Beautiful IPA out of Tight Head Brewing Company, located right here in Mundelein, Illinois. And I chose Chili Waters because, you know what? I got a tough week here. I'm in 4. I advanced in 4 out of my 5 leagues that made the playoffs. Advanced in 4. I got a tough stretch here with these 4 teams, so
Okay.
Little chili water
Right
here.
on.
We'll see what happens.
Tight Head has a lot of good brews.
They do.
You been to there?
I have not been to their brewery just yet, but I'm dying to get over there.
Yeah, me too. All right, let's
you
do
know
it.
what? Live show.
Absolutely.
Maybe a live show.
Maybe a live show. That would be
Maybe
fun.
a live show from Tight Head.
That'd be a good time.
That would be awesome.
All right, I myself, I picked up some Skullhammer by Finch Beer Co. in Chicago, Illinois.
All right.
Skullhammer, because I am in 3 big playoff games this week, and I'm hoping to hammer some skulls. So here we go. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, brother. Oh, well, while he's talking about his, championship,
Good
and if
stuff.
you want to do a watch party and do all that stuff as well, so we can
Yeah,
see what's going on
exactly
there.
right. Okay.
This guy over here, B-Rye, and myself, we are going head-to-head in one of our biggest money leagues that we're both a part of, and it is to get to the championship. So if you guys been following along with us and you know what's been going on, he got me in the regular season this year.
Yep.
So it's a little bit of a revenge game for Buffalo J, and I'm hoping the Stampede rolls, and I'm hoping I can produce some magic because my team did pretty good last week. 142 I put up, so I'm hoping I can keep that rolling.
Not
this
too
week.
shabby.
No, and it'll be fun, Brock. It'll be fun.
You know what? Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. Who knows? Maybe we'll come up with a little side bet on that game. We haven't come up with anything just yet.
We haven't just yet.
But I don't think we have any action. Either one was. Oh, no, I do. I got Le'Veon Bell playing tonight.
Okay, all right.
So we do have some action.
You got Le'Veon going tonight, huh?
Yeah, I know. I've been thinking about pulling him.
Hey,
but,
he bowled a 251 last weekend.
in
He
orange
did.
leather pants.
His career best bowled a 251 last week.
Yeah, with the
while
flu.
the team was playing.
It's the flu game.
But you know what? and a lot of people were jumping on Le'Veon Bell because of this. And honestly, I don't see why. I mean, the team told him, stay away. They said, stay away. We don't want you near the team.
Yeah.
We don't want you in the facility. Nothing. Well, okay. Well, it's the flu. He was sick. He had a cold, right? So, hey, he's going to go bowling with his boys. I don't fault the guy. I personally don't fault the guy for it. He wanted to play. He said he wanted to play.
Yeah, that's true.
They chose
So,
not to. So
we'll see what happens, and I think the only hope I got there is maybe he'll get a whole bunch of catches in garbage time later in the game. So All right, here we go. How about jerseys? What are you wearing today, pal?
All right, so this guy, he lost a bet a couple weeks ago. He had to wear a Buffalo Bills jersey. He wore Drew Bledsoe. Well, Buffalo didn't do so hot last week. And, we played well. We did play well. But I figure I got to get rid of the taint. I got to get rid of the taint.
Ouch.
That this guy put on it.
It didn't touch my taint.
And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and wear my Drew Bledsoe jersey.
Okay.
Give him a little something. We're playing Pittsburgh. So I got Drew back on. And because I blew my knee, I really couldn't go back upstairs to go grab a different jersey. So that's what we're going with it.
Okay. I myself, it's Packer week for the Bears. So
yes.
I got to go all Bears.
Yes.
Head to toe, all Bears today. Khalil Mack. So hopefully he needs to have a big game. You know what? Maybe things will open up a little bit for him with Akeem Hicks coming back.
So, I don't know if he needs such a big game as it is the Bears need him to have a big game.
Yes,
you guys
absolutely.
are hurting on defense.
Yep, we are. So getting Hicks back is going to help. He's going to draw a lot of attention. He's just a monster.
Be a little
in the
limited,
middle.
though. I think he's going to be a little limited.
Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe they play him on third downs or big passing downs. I don't know, second and long, things like that. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Anyways, that's what I'm wearing. That's what we're drinking. Fantasy, you mentioned fantasy already. You advanced to on 4 out of 5.
4 out of
right?
5. 4 out of 5. I was happy about that.
And then I had a couple buys, so I'm playing again this week. So I got 3 big games in all my money leagues. So hoping to move on to the championship and
2 of them,
at least 2 to 3. I'd be happy with 2 to 3. I'd be happy.
I'll be happy if it's 2 out of 3. Just not the 1.
If it's 0 for 3, I don't even know if I'll be here for the next show.
Oh man!
I didn't fire myself.
All
right.
Shout outs. Hey, I got a shout out to, where is it? Timmy Zub. He is a member of ours. And you know what? This guy does some of his own rubs. And we have tonight, going on the kettle for our tailgating food, some rib tips. We got Zubs, rubs, spicy going down on these rib tips. So it should be good. Mr. Tim Zub, thank you, Mr. Tailgater, for the Zubs rub. And, we'll see how it fares out here today. So
thanks, Tim.
Love it.
Right on. Can't wait. Can't wait to have some of that rub and rib tips in my mouth.
Yeah, buddy.
Get in my dome. All right. How about we move on? Let's move on to our 6-pack recap for week number 14.
Love it.
Let's turn back the clock here and see how we did.
Yeah, definitely.
You ready, Rock?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start it off. And one of them that was not so good for me in my 6-pack was James Washington. I thought James Washington would have had a better game last week. Only had 4 targets last week. He did catch all 4 of them, but for 33 yards. I mean, he was very irrelevant going in. Talked about 10.9, 11 points in most leagues. Finished with just over 7, maybe 8. Not very good. Not somebody you want in a 6-pack. So,
ouch.
Definitely turned into a little bit of a dud.
Yeah. Actually, I let off with one as well, although he was doing fine up until he got hurt. Darius Geis against Packers. He had 5 carries for 42 yards, and then messed up his ankle, I believe, and he's out for the year on the IR. So, again, that's a great average, 5 for 42, but he only got you 4 points before he left the game.
Yeah.
AP took control of the rest of that game, got 76 yards and a tutty, so he's going to be the main man for the last couple of games for the Skins this year. And we'll see what happens with guys next year.
Yeah. The other one was James White for me. Going against Kansas City. Kansas City was terrible against running backs, especially against receiving running backs. I thought James White was really going to be good coming out of the backfield, but boy, I tell you, the Chiefs took it to him early, and they abandoned the run for one. White was 6 carries, 33 yards. Not bad, a little over 5 a carry. And then he did have 7 targets. 5 catches, but only 27 yards. No touchdowns. No nothing. And boom, finished with like a 12.4. Wasn't very sexy for James White. And the Patriots lost. So, hey, it is what it is.
There you go. All right. Next guy I had was Stephon Diggs. I'll make this quick. We got a lot to talk about tonight. He went 6 for 92, not terrible. Got 15 points, but now he was more like a low-end wide receiver too.
Yeah,
I was expecting to be a top 10 to 15 play, but 6 for 92 shouldn't kill you. 15 points. Expected more with Thielen out, but that's what he did last week.
I hear you. Did you want to do a watch party on one of these?
I got one. This is the watch
Is that
party,
the watch
and
party?
that's the other. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yep.
Just making sure
Yeah, it's
because
just weird.
Okay, looks the same.
It's weird today.
But no worries. Anyway, hey, my next one that I had was Devonta Freeman with Atlanta. And you know what? He did very, very good last week.
There we go.
17 for 84 yards, had a touchdown, went 4 for 10 yards out of the backfield. I said he would find his first rushing touchdown last week. He did. I did think he was going to hit the century mark. Fell a little bit short there, but 19.4 is what he finished with in most leagues. So Devonta Freeman was a very good pick for me, and I was
There you
happy.
go. You know, Sturm, real quick, I saw your comment there about Drew Brees. He's already taking a little peek into my six-pack here. That might be who we have right here. So anyways, I like that as well. Just want to comment on that real quick. Going back to last week, I had Green Bay's D against the Skins. 4 sacks, a pick, and a fumble, 7 points. Yippee. They were not... didn't perform as you were hoping they would. They were outside the top 10. They're more like in the 15-16 range. They were not a starting D last week.
Yeah. All right, my next guy was, let's go with Mr. Tyler Higbee. Look, the kid had a phenomenal game the week before. Gerald Everett was out for the Rams. I had said, hey, it's going to be a good matchup no matter which way you go, if it's Gerald Everett, Higbee, whatever. Higbee was the guy I chose to put in my six-pack. 7 catches, a $116 receiving, had 11 targets. Unfortunately, no touchdowns. He did not find pay dirt. He was only projected at 8.1. Finished with over 18 to 20 in most leagues. Tyler Higbee definitely had to have been in your six-pack last week.
Yeah.
But he wasn't in mine. I dropped him. I didn't need him, but I dropped him.
I also had a tight end, but he didn't perform. Jack Doyle. Doyle rules. He did
Doyle
not
rules.
Against Tampa Bay, he had a great matchup, but he only caught 2 of his 6 targets for 27 yards and 4 points.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can bounce back this week. He's got another decent matchup with the Saints this weekend.
Nice. The other guy I had last week was Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, 23 of 33 for 325, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He did lose a fumble. Finished with anywhere from 19-9 to 23 in most leagues. I had said he was going to be over 60% passing. I had also said last week he was going to be over 300 yards and he'd have 2 touchdowns last week. And guess what? He did. Over 300, had his 2 touchdowns, was just under 70% passing against the Giants. I mean, it was a good pick for me. I definitely was happy with that.
Next guy I had. Did I say Sterling Shepard? Because I meant Darius Slayton. Shepard, he only caught 4 of his 7 targets for a measly 28 yards and 6 points. And as I mentioned, Slayton was the man. Eli loved him some Darius Slayton. Slayton went off. Twice in 4 weeks, the dude erupted for more than 30 points.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's going to be, he's one of those boomer bust guys or what. But, Vinny, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Good to see you watching the show. All right, go ahead.
My last one that I had last week was Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson projected at 10.9 last week for the Jets. I knew it was going to be a good game going against Miami. He finished with 7 catches on 11 targets, 117 yards. He found pay dirt. He kept rolling the way I thought he was going to. Finish with 25.1 in most leagues. Hell of a pick. That's why I told you guys, throw him in your 6-pack. And that recaps my Sixer.
My last 6-pack guy, and I think he's going to be good going forward in the next game or two for the fantasy playoffs, is Ryan Tannehill. So Ryan Tannehill had 33 points. He was a 5th overall quarterback last week.
Yep.
Had 391 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Raiders. Again, he's got Houston and New Orleans coming up, so Tannehill still has a couple good matchups, and again, he's a great play going forward in the next couple games in the playoffs, and I think he's making a name for himself in Nashville. So everybody's been talking for weeks that Mariota's probably on his way out. Tannehill's probably looking like he might get a franchise tag.
I would agree with you on that, and you know what? And that finishes your 6-pack, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I'll tell you what, man. I actually started streaming because a couple of leagues I stream quarterbacks, and I was streaming Tannehill about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I'll tell you what, it's been a saving grace for me. He's put me into the playoffs in one of my leagues where I was struggling. He's just been producing.
Yep.
Tannehill's been producing.
He's been putting up
week
numbers.
in, week out.
Yep.
Sure, he's got Derrick Henry, but he's finding A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
He's finding some good targets
I like
right
him
there.
this week, by the way, too. AJ Brown.
AJ's
like
a
AJ
good
Brown.
rookie. Not bad.
Yeah,
So,
real good. Zito, nice to see you on the page, on the show.
Ziti.
And actually, a quick note to you, real quick. I saw your post. I didn't get a chance to respond.
I didn't either. Yeah.
But I did see you got Kittle in there as a tight end, which is the right play because Andrews is banged up. So Kittle's a perfect option. Even if Andrews wasn't banged up, I'd lean Kittle. Anyways, so you're doing the right thing with Kittle at tight end. And then Galladay, we'll talk about him later in the show, too. But he has a prime matchup to have a monster game, especially with Marvin Jones.
He does, but it's just a little tough because of Blau. That's the only
He's
thing.
got Blau, but Marvin Jones isn't there to snatch targets
Well,
away
that's
from him
why
anymore.
I think they're going to be
Hockenson isn't
double
there.
teaming him like mad, and I'm
With who?
personally a little.
Who are they going to double
nervous.
team him with?
I don't know. I don't know.
They're going to
But-
double team him with some of
but-
the worst defensive backs in football.
This is
so
true.
anyways,
This is true.
So I like what you're doing. Yeah, you're good with Kittle and Galladay, in my opinion. All right, let's go. Let's move on to our turd dropper. How about that?
We're gonna get into the turd dropper this week.
Yeah, let's do it.
You know what, guys? Hey, we've always had one player here and there that we've always put in, and this week we don't have one player. Forgive me, because again, my knee. Oh fuck.
You need some more
knocking shit
need some
over.
more lubrication.
Yeah, we're
Just keep
good.
drinking.
All right, guys, look. It's very clear. This right here, the Patriot way. You know, I don't want to be a hater, and I know some of you guys on here who are Patriots fans, and you know I'm a Buffalo fan true and true, and you know you guys struggle because other fans think, you know, they don't like you guys, right? Because you win all these championships. But what you guys did was wrong. I mean, it's straight up wrong. And you're trying to sit there and talk about how the production company that was there knows nothing. We don't know. We're not affiliated. But yet in your own statement,
They're full of shit.
you've talked about how it's your failure to inform the Bengals and the league that we had a production company there. Oh, wait a minute. It's not our production company. It's a third-party production company
My ass.
that works to do a web series on the official Patriots.com.
Yeah.
And what's the name of this? Do Your Job. That's what you guys call your webisode, is Do Your Job. Here's one for you guys. Why? You've been busted in 2010 for Spygate. You've been busted with Deflategate. And you're going to sit there and say, oh, we inadvertently missed to send in the memo? Come on. You're scrutinized throughout the league. You don't just sit there and forget to send the memo because what? Because it's the Patriot way? The Patriot way? I mean, here's what I'm saying.
yeah.
A lot of fans out there are like, hey, Cincinnati, oh, well, we don't got any reason to go ahead and scrutinize them and to steal their stuff. Yeah, you've lost 2 in a row. You're fighting for the division. You're only 1 game ahead of Buffalo, which isn't that sad? 1 game ahead of Buffalo. Yeah, you guys actually do. You don't have a good offense. I can see it. And honestly, it's kind of shitty. You guys are doing it, and you shouldn't be in this position. You should not be in this position. The Patriot way is bullshit,
Yep.
and I'm sorry, you belong in the goddamn toilet.
Yeah.
So that's a big old bye-bye.
There you go.
Golly.
Wow. You know, I don't think there's
Sorry,
much I
that's-
can add to Spygate number 2 there. Yeah. I mean, really, it's the freaking Bengals. You need to find the Bengals and win a freaking game. Though we were talking before the show, they're getting desperate, right?
Well, look,
They're getting desperate.
you're doing different video clips and video series each week, and I get it. But isn't it just kind of ironic that when you're doing your video clips of this Do Your Job segment each week on your thing, you're at an opponent you play the following week?
Yeah.
Isn't that a little ironic? Come on. I mean, you're there. Come on. It's
Isn't it
a
ironic?
joke.
Yep.
It's a joke is what it is.
Sure is.
You're a
Sure
turd
is.
dropper. Sorry.
Yep. All right.
Of the
Bye-bye,
week.
Pats. Okay. Why don't we we'll move on to some news and injuries?
News and injuries, great, because I'm going to go ahead and start cutting up these rib tips while he's doing this.
Yeah, buddy.
And we'll get those marinating in some sauces. I might interrupt you a couple of times.
But please do.
We'll see what happens.
All right, let's do that. All right, let's go into the Week 15 news and injuries around the league, starting off in the Pacific Northwest with Seattle running back Rashad Penny. Torn ACL, out for the year.
Torn ACL!
Much like Buffalo Jay could have.
I think mine's the MCL, but hey, it is
exactly
what it is.
right. Jay's somewhere on this list. But anyways, Penny was coming along the last few weeks, getting some nice touches. Putting up some points, and now he's gone. So CJ...
Chris Carson,
obviously, is the man. Then they got CJ Precise or something as a backup.
Yeah, I'm not looking for too much out of him.
No, it's too bad for Penny. New York Giants quarterback Daniel Jones. It's probably going to be another 2 to 4 weeks. He's not fantasy relevant anymore this year. Not that he really was. Every now and then he was a good streaming option this year. I'm sorry, but he's gone. Tampa Bay wide receiver Mike Evans out for the year with a hammy.
Yeah.
So that's a big blow to somebody. Evans is one of the top 5 receivers in the league fantasy this year. So that's good for Chris Godwin owners. He's going to get a lot of love, but he's also going to get a lot of attention too from the number 1 cornerback. So that could hurt, could benefit, could hurt him. Are you going to be all right?
I think so.
Another wide receiver, sticking with the wide receiver theme here, Detroit wide receiver Marvin Jones Jr. We talked about him already. He gone.
Yeah.
He's on the IR with an ankle. For second year in a row, not an ankle, but last year he went out of the IR with the knee.
Yeah.
So 2 years he ended up on the IR. 2 years in a row, sorry. So not good for Mr. Jones. We already talked about Washington running back Darius Geis. Third time in 2 years the guy's been on the IR.
Yeah. Not a healthy guy.
No, and you'll be curious to see what his ADP next year will be. I assume he's going to be the leading running back in Washington. Is he going to be healthy? I don't know. I mean, he might get lucky. Might get him in the 10th round, and he could be a top 10 running back. He has a talent to be.
Yeah, he's talented, but you know what? I'm not sure on that. And where's Adrian Peterson going to be next year? Chris Thompson.
Adrian Peterson might be in a rocking chair.
He could be. You never know. But hey, Frank Gore's still going.
That's true.
Come on.
That's true. All right, San Francisco wide receiver. Not really big news, but Marquise Goodwin. He's gone to the IR with a knee as well. But with the emergence of Deebo Samuel and the trade for Emmanuel Sanders, Goodwin was kind of a forgotten man there. I think he only had a dozen catches or so on this year, but he's done. So a lot of wide receivers that are on the IR. We talked about Le'Veon Bell and what's going on with him. He's also whining about not getting enough touches.
Yep.
You know what? He's the best guy on that side of the ball. You should get the ball in his hands as many times as you can. So shame on cross-eyed Adam Gates. Tampa Bay quarterback Jameis Winston. He's got a broken bone in his thumb.
Yeah.
His throwing hand. So he's day-to-day. They're saying he's going to play, but we'll see. Winston's also, the guy has thrown tons of interceptions, but also has
That's because of his thumb.
Yeah,
it's because of
gotta be. This figured out it's broken now. New Jersey Giants.
Oh, the dirty.
They're still, we talked about Danny Dimes. They got a couple skill players, Evan Ingram and Golden Tate. They're still questionable. Not sure if either one of them is going to return this week. So Darius Slayton could have another big day.
Yeah, he might even be in somebody's six-pack this week.
Stern made a good point. All of Slayton's points were in the first half last week. And then they made some adjustments and shut his ass down.
Well, there was a lot to do with also, though, too, Steve Sturm, weather. Weather did play a little bit of a factor with that, so they did kind of get away from the passing game and went to a lot more running. So that is kind of what happened there.
Yeah, true. This is a guy who was concussed, Devontae Parker. So Devontae Parker, again, he's someone who's coming on as of late, but now he's in a least concussion protocol, and he's most likely out this week, and who knows if he'll be back next week. So you should be looking at other wide receiver options if you have Devontae Parker. Back to the dirty. The Jets tight end Ryan Griffin. He's out tonight with an ankle.
He is.
Not playing. On the other side of the, not the other side of the ball, but their opponent, Baltimore tight end Mark Andrews, is in. How much is he going to play? Is he going to get a full game in? Is it going to be a blowout like everybody's expecting? is he going to get pulled early? And Hurst and who's the other tight end? They got a couple other tight ends.
Oh, goodness. I was
Boyle?
just watching that game.
Boyle,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So Hurst and Boyle could steal some away from Andrews. So Andrews is a risky play this week. I am starting him in one league just because him and Lamar, maybe he'll get some love from Lamar Jackson early. Maybe he'll get a touchdown, a couple of catches, and get you 15, 16 points, and you're good to go. So if you get that out of your tight end, I'm happy. I'd be happy. Philadelphia wide receiver Alshon Jeffrey, he's out with a foot IR. He's gone.
Aguilar can't catch. Jeffrey's out. I mean, Jesus.
Exactly. You got Ertz. Well, you know who? So speaking of tight ends, we were talking about Griffin being out, and Andrews is a little shaky right now. Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
So Dallas Goedert is a good option if you need a tight end to stream for this week.
Yep.
Why did this stop? So, all right, let's move on. Another wide receiver, Atlanta wide receiver, Calvin Ridley. He's on the IR.
Yep.
He's out for the year.
God, I was having such good production go. Oh, man.
Calvin Ridley's been having a really good year. I like him a lot. He's a very talented young man. He's got a bright future ahead, but not anymore this year. We talked about Devontae Freeman. He missed practice, but I think he should still be able to play this week. Yeah. He should be good to go. Pittsburgh running back James Conner was a full participant in practice this week.
He was.
So he has a decent chance to play Sunday night. Don't know if I love him. Buffalo, where they might give up, some points is to rushing yards against.
Okay. So Buffalo has, in the middle of the season, we kind of had some letdowns. Gave up some big yards rushing. Beginning of the year, not so much. End of the year lately, we've been coming on. I mean, Mark Ingram did not have a big rushing game last week. We've been keeping some guys in check ever since Miles Sanders went off on us with Philly. I don't know. We're going to see what happens. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I actually have Connor on my bench in one league. I don't think, but ahead of him, I got McCaffrey, Gordon, and Eckler. So
hell yeah.
I think I'm just leaving him there. Staying in Pittsburgh, wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster, after putting in a full practice on Wednesday, he left practice early today. So he might be on the wrong side of questionable going into Sunday night.
Which I don't think is big anyway. If you had Juju, I don't know if you'd want to be playing him against Tre'Davious White, only because Tre'Davious White shuts down people.
And Juju's been having a rough year.
He really has.
He's been having a rough year without Big Ben. Trying to find himself really. Now he's banged up, and now he could possibly get a matchup against Tre'Davious White. So even with Juju, I think even if he is playing, I'm not sure if I'd have him in my lineup either.
True.
This one kind of breaks my heart a little bit. Jacksonville wide receiver DJ Chark.
Baby Chark
got an ankle, looking doubtful. They keep saying that he might have a chance to play, but I don't think he's playing this week. Everybody's really high on D.D. Westbrook this week. So obviously if Chark is out, that's a huge upgrade for Westbrook.
Definitely.
That's going to be Minshew's go-to man. And last but not least, also a wide receiver. I can't believe all this wide receiver talk we have this week. Adam Thielen of the Vikings. Adam Thielen put in a full practice. Looks like he will be a go against the Chargers. It's a big game for the Vikings, who's they're in the playoff hunt in the NFC. So if Thielen's a go, I do like him in your lineup. They've been very, very, very cautious with his hammy, so I don't think they would put him in there if they don't think he can give him a full 60 minutes. And that is the news, folks.
News. There it
That's
is.
all I got for week 15 news.
Crap. That really hurt.
Yeah. Jeez.
All right, we got to sit back down.
Well, yeah, why don't you sit back down and let's get into some new six-packs for week 15 there, brother.
Week 15, brand new six-packs.
I'll help you out there, Gip.
I'm loving it. There. I appreciate that, brother. These are my six-packs right here. Packers, Browns, Giants, Seahawks, Colts, Panthers. Who is who? Who do we have? And let's start this son of a gun off right. Who do I want to start with? I'm going to start with this guy right in the middle, the Cleveland Brownies. We're going to go with Patty Cake Baker Mayfield. He has not been very productive the last 2 weeks. completing less than 52% of his passes. He's got less than 200 yards with only 1 touchdown. Has 4 turnovers in his last 2 weeks. Not very good. But, and it's a big but, patty cake, Baker Mayfield. Hey, he's got the worst defense in the league against quarterbacks, where they're surrendering 332 yards a week, have given up 32 passing touchdowns, and over 25 points a week to starting quarterbacks. Look for Baker Mayfield against these Cardinals to go over 280 yards. He's going to throw at least 2 touchdowns in the desert. Baker Mayfield should be in your 6-pack this week.
There you go. All right, very nicely done. I think I am going
Screw
to
you with
stay...
patty cake.
No, I'm going to stay in the desert. I'm just trying to think of who I'm going to go with. I'll stay in the same game, stay in the desert. And I have right here none other than the Arizona Cardinals wide receiver, Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk.
So Cleveland, they're 31st versus fantasy wide receivers, yielding combined 40 points a game to wide receivers. This is potentially a high-scoring game with a 48-point over-under. So that's Vegas is expecting some points from both teams in this game. Kirk is a solid flex, or even a wide receiver 2 in week number 2 of the fantasy playoffs. And again, we're expecting a lot of points where he wants some action in that game. So give me Christian Kirk in my 6-pack.
I like it. You know, we were talking about this guy earlier, and I am going to go with New Jersey's own Darius Slayton, home against the Dolphins for the Giants. Big question last week was, how was the chemistry going to be between a rookie Darius Slayton and Eli Manning? And guess what? It was just fine. So, good old Darius right here. Christ. He had Eli targeted him 8 times last week. He caught 5 of them for $154. He had 2 scores. Not sure if Eli's going to get another game with him because Daniel Jones, but, we're hearing in the news, Daniel might be done for the year.
Yeah.
So, if Eli is still there, I love the kid out of Auburn as a rookie. And you know what? He's got a great matchup against Miami, who's given up a league-high 23 touchdowns to wide receivers. And Darius Slayton leads all rookie wide receivers right now with 7 touchdowns this year.
Yahoo.
I'm looking for him to get at least another one this week in the dirty. Darius Slayton, put him in your 6-pack.
All right, there you go. All right, I am going to stick with my back row in my 6-pack here and go with Tampa Bay quarterback Jameis Winston. We talked about him earlier with his broken thumb in his hand. We do expect him to play against Detroit this week. Jameis Winston, he's thrown 23 interceptions, but the dude's also thrown 26 touchdowns and has thrown for over 4,000 yards this season.
Yes, he
so
has.
he is putting points up, even though he is a walking turnover machine.
But it's because of the thumb.
Yeah, exactly, because of his thumb. Lions are 25th versus opposing quarterbacks, and I see Winston being a top 10 quarterback for your fantasy playoffs this week. So put Jameis Winston in my 6-pack, buddy.
Oh, I very much like that. I like that. I'm going to go with Seattle right here. And we're going to go with Chris Carson going against Carolina, taking on those Panthers. Yes, he was limited last week in L.A., averaged over 5 yards per carry, though, and made the use of his play with just under 90 scrimmage yards. Rashad Penny is out. We talked about that. And Carson has a great matchup against the Panthers, who've given up the 2nd most rushing yards, the most touchdowns to running backs with 24. I see Carson going over the century mark this week, finding pay dirt twice in this one.
Woo-hoo.
I think Chris Carson is a solid play for you guys. Put him in your 6-pack.
All right, there you go. I'm going to finish off my back row here and go with the LA Chargers backfield, Melvin Gordon. So Melvin Gordon, Austin Eckler, right? You got 2 options there to run the ball, to catch the ball, to be in the backfield. They're both doing pretty well for the last few weeks. Eckler had your double-double, 100 receiving and 100 rushing last week. A huge game. Now they come home against the Vikings. I expect them to look to control the ball at home, run the ball more, feed Gordon, make him be the monster. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. Vikings have given up 28.7 points to fantasy running backs over the last 4 weeks. And I think it's time for Gordon to take the lead in the backfield this week. It's his turn, so give me Melvin Gordon, my six-pack.
Because I'm playing you this week. I'm really hoping for Eckler because he's on my roster against you. So hey.
I know. That's another reason why I picked Gordon.
I don't blame you. All right, we're gonna go for a crapshoot with this one. Are you guys ready? I'm gonna stay in that Seattle Carolina game. I'm gonna go with a Panther, and it's not gonna be Christian McCaffrey. It's not DJ Moore. It's not Curtis Samuel. It is Ian Thomas. That's right, Ian Thomas. This pick predicted on whether or not, obviously, Greg Olson's going to be playing, whether or not he clears concussion protocol. But the tight end for Carolina has got a great matchup against Seattle's defense, giving up the second most fantasy points to tight ends. In the last 2 weeks, they've given up 4 for 50 and a touchdown to Kyle Rudolph. They gave up 7 for $116 to Tyler Higbee, which I told you guys about earlier. Carolina needs to make the tight end a focal point this week. I think they're going to do it for Kyle Allen. I think this is going to be, Thomas will be Allen's friggin' scapegoat. Look for Thomas for another good game. He had a good one last week. A crazy play. Ian Thomas, especially in your FanDuels and DraftKings, picking up dirt cheap. Put him in your six-pack.
Yeah, buddy. All right, let's go to front and center here, right here. We got the Denver Broncos. Who could it be? I am going to go stick in the backfield as I did with my last pick and go with Phillip Lindsay.
I do like that pick.
Kansas City's 31st versus opposing fantasy running backs. Drew Lock. Drew Lock has been coming along.
Drew Lock's looking pretty good for Denver.
He is. He's getting more and more comfortable under center in Denver, which is going to help open up the running game a little bit. You know, before when they had Brandon Allen and some other Yahoo or Kyle Allen, who the hell was back
Brandon
there?
Allen was back. Yeah, Brandon was back there.
Yahoo that they had back. It wasn't Kurt Warner. It was some guy who was bagging groceries at Aldi or something. They don't have baggers at Aldi. They bring in their own freaking bags. Anyway,
but they got checkers. So it was a checker from Aldi.
So you can't really stack the box against the Broncos because Locke is looking pretty good.
Yeah.
And see what he did last week in Houston, just tore them apart. So anyways, it's going to help open up the running game. This is a great matchup for the dual threat running back. It's a solid running back 2 this week. He's going to get you points through the air, on the ground. I see him hitting pay dirt. Again, this could be a high-scoring game, too. I want to say the Chiefs-Broncos over-under in that game is 45.5. But their Chiefs are favored by 9.5. They're favored by quite a bit. Well, guess what? That means they're going to be throwing. Lindsay's going to get you PPR points. So give me some Phillip Lindsay in my six-pack, baby.
I like it. I'm going to go with the Indianapolis Colts going up against the Saints. Zach Pascal. All signs appear to be pointing that T.Y. Hilton's going to be back in action this week. He's looking pretty good, but it's only going to be his second start since week 8 and his first since week 12. This week, the Colts wide receivers get a Saints defense giving up the 3rd most fantasy points to position and just under 40. Even if Hilton is back, I believe it's going to be limited. I don't think T.Y. is going to be producing. I think Jacoby Brissett is going to be hitting his number 1 favorite target right now in Zach Pascal. I'm looking for him for 4 to 7 catches, right around 80 to 95 yards, and I do believe Pascal will find the end zone. Put him in your six.
There you go. All right. Next player I have in my six-pack for Week 15 is none other than Detroit wide receiver Kenny Galladay, who we talked a little bit about earlier.
I don't know why I did that. But
Kenny Galladay, the third-year wide receiver out of NIU. Tampa Bay is dead last for fantasy wide receivers. Over 2,600 yards and 21 touchdowns through the air this year. Giving up tons of points to wide receivers. So even though they have a third-string quarterback, again, we mentioned Hawkinson's gone. Marvin Jones is gone. Yep. So they got to throw it to somebody. Galladay's going to get a whole bunch of targets. He should be able to put up double digits easily. And he has put up double digits in all but 3 games this year.
Yeah.
So Galladay's been a fantastic player, and he is primed for a huge day. Consider him a wide receiver number 1. Start him with confidence in this week of your fantasy playoffs. Put him in your 6-pack.
I like it. All right, my last 6-pack player, and I know B-Rye is not going to be happy about this, but it's Aaron Jones, home against the Bears.
Hey, Aaron.
Jones has been up and down this year. He's yet to put together back-to-back solid performances, but I believe that ends. Last week he had a good stat line. This week against a very battled Bears D, Jones only posted 39 total yards back in week number 1, but the Bears had a healthy Hicks. They had Roquan Smith. They had Danny Trevathan. Those 3 guys accounted for over 10 tackles week 1 against running backs. This week, Jones is going to double up his output. He's going to be sitting at about 80 friggin' yards.
Killing me, Smalls.
I know. He's going to find the end zone against this unhealthy Bears defense in the frozen tundra, known as Lambeau Field. I am sorry. It's chilly waters. It's going to be a good game. Don't get me wrong. I'm looking forward to it.
Looking at the ABV.
But Aaron Jones, I believe you should take a gamble and put him in your 6-pack this week. Your defense. It bothers me you have a good defense when they're healthy.
Yeah, I don't have a
and they're not
steal in my
healthy.
6-pack
So,
today.
you don't.
All right.
Who are you going to put in there? The Duck?
Duck Hodges, absolutely. But no, another quarterback this week, not named Duck Hodges. Steve, this one's for you, buddy.
Sturmy!
Drew Brees. Oh, shit.
Terminator.
Drew Brees is my last pick of my 6-pack. He lit up the Niners D last week. He had a monster game.
He did.
Monster game.
I actually like seeing it, too.
Say what?
I like seeing it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Especially because Michael Thomas. Help me out.
Well, now he gets the Colts.
That's right.
The Colts have, over the last 4 games, they lit up over 1,250 yards passing and 10 touchdowns in the last 4 games through the air. So Drew Brees is coming off that monster game. Start him with confidence for sure in your big fantasy playoff matchup this week. Put Drew Brees in your 6-pack. That is a wrap.
God, I
on
like
week
it.
15. 6-packs.
I like it. I'm really hoping he is finding Michael Thomas. Look, we all know he does.
Is he on your team?
He is.
Well, that's why.
But Jared Cook, boy, did Jared Cook have a good game last week?
Jared Cook had a great game on my bench.
Fantastic.
On my bench.
And I tell you what, I'm hoping he finds Michael Thomas a little bit more in this game.
Again,
so
on my bench again. Well, Drew Brees was actually on my bench, but I had that team on a bye. It didn't matter. Whatever. Yeah.
So, hey, those are our 6-packs this week. The TD's Bears and Tailgater 6-packs, baby.
Cheers.
Get yourself some. Big old cheers, brother. Oh, it's going to be fun.
Get that shit out of here.
It's going to be fun.
What are we moving on to here, sir? How about some true-false recap and new questions?
True
Want to do that?
falses. Why not?
All right, cool.
Why not? Jesus, I got even gonna find.
All right, yeah, exactly. Let's go
false.
back in the Wayback Machine here. And the first question I had for you, good sir, was about the running game in Baltimore, Buffalo, and their quarterbacks. Would the combination of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson produce over 100 yards rushing combined?
Yeah.
He said, yep, they would. And no, it was 49.
It was, it was.
Josh
dismal.
Allen only had 9 yards, and Jackson had 40. So, kudos to the Bills. That was less than half of what Jackson normally averages. So surprising.
Yeah, and Buffalo, I will say, they held Lamar Jackson to under 200 total yards of offense.
Yeah.
I mean, between 145
wearing
passing,
the white jersey.
145 passing, 40 yards on the ground. Buffalo kept him in check. We also sacked him, which is very, very rare for him.
Yep.
And it was, it was a great defensive game as I thought it was going to be.
Absolutely.
But boy, not over 100 yards between the two number 1 and number 2 rushing quarterbacks in the league. Wow. That was impressive on that.
Yeah,
Well, hey,
absolutely.
I'm going to stay on that same game.
Okay.
And I had asked Brian, who's going to have more rushing yards in that game? Was it going to be Lamar Jackson? Would Lamar Jackson have more rushing yards than Josh Allen in that game? He said true. 100% accurate. I mean, he outdid him 40-something to 9, 40 to 9.
Yep.
So, yeah, you know what? Kudos to Brian.
Hey.
And he got one up on me
Yahoo!
on that one.
Woohoo! All right, moving on. I asked Jay, the Chiefs at Pats. I said, would the Chiefs get revenge in the AFC Championship game and go into Foxborough and get a W? Jay said, hell yeah, they're going to do it, and they did. Cheers, bro.
Thank
Nice
you.
job.
I'm been pretty good about predicting
The win-loss,
Friggin'
yeah, exactly right.
win-losses.
Exactly
Good.
right. You have been, and I have another one for you this week.
I think I might have to do that in Vegas from now on. You give it to me.
My brother's still
I'll
there.
tell you what's going
My
on.
brother's
We're gonna
still
do
there.
it.
We can lay some bets down right now.
All right, here's
Hopefully
one.
April's not watching.
Here's one where Brian went a little bit of a miss. But I had said that Eli Manning was starting obviously last week, and his career average was just under 260 yards a game against the Eagles. Could Eli Manning pass for over 250 yards with 2 touchdowns on Monday night? He thought it was going to happen. You know what? And again, we talked about this earlier. He did pass for 203 yards. He did have 2 touchdowns under that 250 mark. I think if they would have kept with the passing game, you would have been spot on. But unfortunately, it did not happen.
No,
because
not so
they
much.
did go to the run.
Dicks.
And you know,
bag of dicks.
but that was good. And my apologies there, bro.
All right. Last one I had for you was about Ryan Fitzmagic. He was on a hot streak. Over the previous 3 weeks, he was the number 4 quarterback in all fantasy football.
Yeah.
And I asked Jay, would he be a top 5 play going into week number 14? Jay said, yeah, absolutely, he will be. That's true. And he only has 17 points. He was number 20.
And
So
yeah,
that was
Devontae Parker, I think, took a big hit out of Fitzpatrick last week. I definitely think that hurt him a little bit when Parker went out. But yeah, hey, you know what? Did not happen.
Yeah.
And the last one, which he did get right, it was with his boys.
Fucking do it.
And you know what it was about? The last time Dallas was in Chicago, and how Tony Romo and DeMarco Murray went off on these guys. Could Dak Prescott go over 230 yards passing? And could Zeke Elliott go over 110 scrimmage yards? He said no way in hell was that going to happen. He was right. He was right.
Yep.
But it's because of Zeke. Zeke only had 93 total scrimmage yards. 81 rushing, 12 receiving.
Wasn't going to happen
But
against my Bears.
Dak Prescott did have
He did.
300.
Oh, yeah.
Like he does.
because
You
they
know
were
what?
trailing.
And that's what it is.
They're playing from behind.
Dak Prescott is that guy who is throwing garbage time yards. We saw it against Buffalo the week prior. We saw it this week against the Bears. All of his yards are coming in garbage time.
Yep.
And sure, Dak might be a good fantasy play, but I'll tell you what, regular-wise, that team is in disarray.
Yep,
They're
absolutely.
hurting very, very much. Jason Garrett's gone at the end of the year.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that's all I got to say about that.
That's all
but
I
you
have
know
to
what?
say about that.
We have a brand new a brand new true false for you guys.
Yeah, we
where,
do.
hey, I'm going to give Brian 3. He's going to give me 3. That's 6 true falses to you guys. I really want to see you guys start interacting a little bit more. Tell us your take, because guess what? There actually might be a giveaway coming pretty soon with true false stuff.
Yeah.
You got to beat us to go ahead and win a prize. So, let's
I was going to say, last week I did all right. I did bring a friend to help me this week. So we'll see if maybe I need to rely on the Magic 8 Ball a little bit if Jay tries to stop me here. So we'll see what happens. Let's go for it, dude.
I'm going to have you start this one off.
All right.
Go ahead.
Hey, you know what?
Oh, God.
Jay?
Here we go.
Let's go streaking. All right?
Let's do it.
The longest
We're
losing...
going to go past the quad to the gymnasium. Let's go.
Let's go. The longest losing streak right now in the NFL stands at 9 games by the New Jersey Giants.
Wow.
They now get an opportunity to right the ship with Miami coming out of the South Beach up into the cold, chilly New Jersey, East Rutherford air.
Yep.
Will the Giants snap their losing streak this week against the Dolphins?
Yes. I do believe the Giants are going to win this game. I believe Eli Manning, Everything's pointing to him starting this week.
Yep.
I do believe Eli's going to have a good game against that vaunted, terrible defense that Miami has right now. Sorry, Tim Zub. I know you're a huge Miami fan, but I do see.
I'm a Zub fan.
Miami was just in New Jersey, played a very good game against the Jets. This week, I think it's going to be a little bit different. I think Slayton's going to be too much to handle. I think Saquon Barkley's going to be too much to handle. I like the Giants in this game. Give me some Eli.
There you go.
Love it.
All right.
All right. For you, this is all Green Bay Packer and Chicago Bear questions. Back in week 1.
Shit. It says concentrate and ask me.
Back in week 1, the Bears offense had 254 total yards to the Packers 213. Mitch Trubisky had 228 yards passing, which was more than Aaron Rodgers. Can Trubisky go back-to-back games against the Packers with more passing yards than Aaron Rodgers?
Wow, that's a great question. I am going to rely on the 8-ball for this. Trubisky has been hot. I don't trust anything regarding Bears-Packers. I love that Shay gave me 3 of them. So let's see here. Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Happen.
So Trubisky
the 8-ball says
is,
it's so.
Okay, true. I like the 8-ball.
All right.
I'm gonna make a little note. 8 ball answers.
8-ball says yes, definitely.
Oh shit.
All right, here we go. Your favorite team, New England defense. They put up a boatload of points in the first half of the season. Fantasy defense, right?
Yeah.
But they slowed down, and they've been single digits for the last 5 games.
Oh.
Will they get double digits this week at Cincinnati?
Yeah, we got Andy Dalton playing. They're going to be in Cincinnati this week, correct?
In Cincinnati, they got the tape. They know what's going on. They know their
they've
calls.
got the tape because
But-
that's what they do.
You know, their offense has been struggling, so there's been a lot of 3 and outs. And so it affects the defense big time. Ask the Bears. Yeah. Are they going to get double digits this week? People are relying on them. They're still ranked the number 1 fantasy defense, but the last 5 weeks, they have not been the number 1 fantasy defense.
You know what? I'm going to say no on this.
Okay.
I think they're going to be just under 10 points. Maybe, we're going to go
9.5.
RTS scoring on this, all right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be under 10 points on this. I do believe it's going to be a good game. I think there's a lot there for Cincinnati to take control, or for New England to take control of Andy Dalton, but I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen.
All right.
All right, my next question to you.
Yeah.
The Bears defense ranks 10th overall in yards per game given up at 326 yards a game. The Packers offense puts up over 340 yards per game. Can the Bears defense hold the Packers to under 300 total yards like they did in week 1, back-to-back weeks, under 3, or back-to-back games against the Packers, under 300 total yards?
No, I don't think they will.
No. No magic 8-ball on
Let's
that?
see what the 8-ball, you know what?
Wait a minute.
We'll do the 8-ball just for the hell of it, but Brian says no. 8-ball says things are cloudy.
Ask me later.
Seriously, I need a new 8-ball. This thing's like 20 years
It's
old.
cold. It's cold.
It just says, what the fuck?
It says, ask me later.
Yeah, exactly. Ask me later.
Ask me later.
That's what I'm getting.
Ask me later.
It's all bubbly and weird and it's okay.
All right, brother.
Ask me later is what the 8-ball
No problem.
says.
False on that one.
You betcha.
Let's see what you got going on next.
All right. Why don't we go to one more? Let's go to the Bills and Steelers.
Oh, boy.
They have met a total of 25 times. Okay? Steelers hold the all-time record, 16 wins and 9 losses. The last 6 have been all victories for Pittsburgh.
No.
2 of those 6, they combined, only 2 of those games, those 6 games, they combined for over 40 points.
Oh, okay.
The over-under for Sunday night's game is set at 36.
Yeah, 36 and a half, wasn't it?
Yeah, will they go over?
Okay. 36. I'm going to go 36 and a half.
Okay, that's
cool?
fine. 36 and a
Are
half.
they going to go over 36 and a half this week with this game? Oh, man. I do believe this game is going to be... It's going to be on that 24-15 type thing. Boy, which is going to be right there with that 36 and a half.
Yep.
I'm going to say they're going over.
Over, okay.
I think they're going to go over this week at the 36 and a half.
Jay says yes.
And I do like the matchup this week. I think it's going to be a great game on Sunday Night Football.
I think so too.
The NFL did a hell of a job picking this game between a 9-4, 8-5. I mean, this is going to be a great fucking game.
Yep.
I can't wait.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, my turn, right?
Last one, and let's get moving.
All right, last one
Clock's
is
ticking.
in the last 10 years, Aaron Rodgers has just 8 interceptions against the Bears. His most recent, ironically, was Week 15 last year at Soldier Field. He gave up an interception to the Bears. Can the Bears pick off Aaron Rodgers this week in Lambeau?
Outlook not so good.
Ooh, okay. Okay, so we're saying false on that one.
It's not going to happen.
All right.
Not so good. We'll see.
Oh,
See if we bring the 8 ball
wait.
back for Week 16.
I love it. That's our Week 15 true false segment. Oh my God, we gotta get into Week 15 game previews. We're gonna get out of here, take you guys up to kickoff.
Yep.
And yeah, we're doing pretty good. So hey, let's run through these guys. The food is on its way, so bada boom, bada bing. Game 15. Where do you want to start?
You know, let's lead off with a couple teams that we haven't really talked much or haven't featured much throughout the season.
Sure.
Let's go with Cleveland going into the desert to face the Cardinals.
I like it.
Okay. Cleveland. They are laying 2.5 in the desert with a 48-point over-under, which we talked about earlier today. Arizona, when you look at their defense, 32nd against quarterbacks, dead last. 32nd against tight ends. 31 against wide receivers. 20th against running backs. Cleveland, if they're going to put up, this is the time, and this is fantasy playoffs. You want your brownies in this game. I got a couple of them in our game. I'm happy about that, especially with this matchup, so I'm excited. And the Cleveland themselves aren't, they're kind of more in the middle of the road, more in the teens than their players, but definitely get your brownies in this week. Jay talked about Baker. I love Jarvis. I would have mentioned with a 6-pack, but we don't want to double up. I love me some Jarvis Landry this week.
I would too.
And David Njoku, maybe. Again, the
coming off injury though, it's the only thing.
Against tight ends, so maybe he might get you the 2 catches, 15 yards, and a touchdown. Which who knows? It might help you. Anyways.
Possibly. You know what? And here's where I'm at on this one. Yes, we know Arizona is terrible all the way around at almost every damn spectrum. But where the matchup is really good between these two, Arizona is 15th best against running backs, and the Browns are 16th best. You know what? I'm not liking David Johnson in this game, and I'm honestly not.
No, me neither.
I am not liking Nick Chubb in this game, but I do like Kareem Hunt. I think Kareem Hunt could have a really, really good game this week going against this defense. I don't know. There's something about Hunt. I tried to go after him, and he's been actually doing very well. Put up more points than Nick Chubb. Yes, Chubb is running rampant.
He's got tons of yards, but he's not getting the touchdown.
Exactly, and Kareem Hunt is doing that.
Yep.
I like Baker Mayfield, like we touched on earlier.
Yep.
I mean, you got to love Baker in this game. You got to love the receiving core by the Browns. And, that's what I got on that game.
Okay, there we go. Move on. Pick a game.
Let's go ahead and get on to the Texans and Titans. And I tell you what, 2 8-5 teams, man. Between the fucking knee pain, it is.
Those
the cold weather is just fucking
the food
killing it.
smells phenomenal.
The food is blowing in my face.
I mean,
Texans, Titans, 8-5 by both these guys. AFC, South that we're talking about right now.
Yes, sir.
You got some really good matchups going on here. I like, honestly, the tight ends, possibly for Houston. Who's it going to be? Fells could have a really good game going against the 27th worst tight end defense. But the quarterback play is huge. You've got the Texans, who are the 30th worst team against quarterbacks, whereas Tennessee is actually very, very good against quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson, watch out. He may have a little tiny bit of a struggle No Will Fuller, probably, right?
Nope,
right?
Yeah,
He done.
Yeah, Will Fuller's
so,
probably not happening.
Kenny Stills, you're not going to really rely on him too much. Obviously, Hopkins is a very good play. But I tell you what, Tennessee in this game, I'm liking Derrick Henry. I really like Derrick Henry. Going against the 28th worst rushing defense. I'm hoping he's putting up mad points.
I'm going against him
especially
twice.
against this guy this week.
I'm playing him twice.
So I don't know. I'm liking some Tannehill. I'm liking the Titans. I'm liking
Henry. He exited early last week and he came back, I think, with a hammy. So maybe, hopefully, he pulls that quickly in this game. And AJ Brown. We talked about liking AJ Brown in this game. I think we both agree on that. And Ryan Tannehill, obviously, again, Houston's 27th against QBs, 28 against running backs, 22nd against tight ends, 18 against wide receivers. So this lines up really good for Tannehill to continue at home to keep putting up some big points. So, like Tannehill, like Brown, we like Derrick Henry to pull his hammy. All right, let's move on.
I'm just going to say, remember the Titans, baby.
Remember the Titans. Well,
I think it's going to be a good game.
50 points. So 50 points is your over-under. Get some action. You definitely want some action in the Titans.
I do, yeah, definitely.
Texans game. You want some players in there in your DFS and everything else.
Pick it up. What we got?
Okay, why don't we go to Texas? We got the LA Rams visiting the Cowboys.
Yes, I like that one.
All right. LA Rams come in. Kind of an even matchup across the board, in terms of fantasy points against.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks are about the same, 12 and 13. Rams
12,
12, Cowboys 13. Running backs, I got the Rams at 11, Cowboys at 16. Cowboys are a little bit better against wide receivers, and Rams are better against tight ends. So, like I said, a pretty even game. Obviously, you're going to play Dak. You're going to play Zeke. Those are the guys you want. I'm not sure Jason Witten's a good play this week because the Rams are 7th against tight ends.
Yeah,
so Witten, you might look elsewhere other than Jason Witten. But Higbee. Higbee, again, the Cowboys are 23rd against tight ends.
Exactly,
So Higbee
yeah.
might be a great play. Against on the Rams side of the ball, Robert Woods, he has been emerging. He's been getting a shit ton of targets. I mean, the game's not even started yet. I think he already has 3 targets. So, I mean, that's kind of what's been happening with
yes,
Woods, right?
Yeah.
So, Jared Goff, he was kind of a stinker in the middle of the season, but, he's picked it up as of late.
Well, and they're fighting for that wild card spot. They're not going to get the division, but they are definitely fighting for that wild card spot. And I do like the Rams. And you know what? One thing, B-Rye, that I got to talk about is I wonder where you're getting your stats from and where I get my stats from, because I tell you what, we are so close on them, but we're off by 1 or 2. And I think it's great. Because different websites have different stats and where you're pulling your info from.
Yeah.
But they're very, very similar. And he is 100% accurate. You know what? The wide receiver portion of it, yes, the Cowboys are very good against wide receivers. 7th overall,
Except the
best.
slot.
Right? I mean, but then
Slot.
you've also got the wide receiver for the Rams, and they're like 19th. And then you flip the spectrum on the tight end part of it. I do like Higbee in this. I think Higbee could be a very good play.
Yep.
I don't think Jason Witten's going to have a good game. Running backs, quarterbacks, yeah, they're both right in that spectrum. But I do think Todd Gurley is a sneaky play against this team. I think Todd Gurley is going to have more yards, more fantasy points than Zeke Elliott this week. That's
like
where I'm
that. I
kind
like
of going
that
with
call.
that.
I like
so
that.
watch out for it. And
Okay.
hey, that's where I'm at with Rams.
All right.
Going to Dallas, baby.
Pick a game, pal.
Oh, we're going to pick a game. We're going to go with the Broncos and the Chiefs. Oh, the Broncos are heading to Arrowhead Stadium. Drew Lock, I'm really big on this kid right now.
Yeah, me too.
I like what John Elway's got in him. I think he saw something there. What's going to happen? Hey, Kansas City's not. They're in the middle of the road against quarterbacks right now, right on the 17-18 mark. And I really think Drew Lock has got a potential to have some success in this. And we all know, we've been talking about it. They're very bad. Kansas City's very bad against running backs. B-Rye had Phillip Lindsay in his 6-pack. You've got to be playing some Phillip Lindsay in this game. I'm not sure if Royce Freeman's going to have the game you're thinking he's going to have. Cortland Sutton, you got to maybe just lean a little bit to where... I like him, but at the same token, it's a little bit hard. I think Drew Lock in the passing game, this is why quarterbacks are successful against the Chiefs, is because they do rely on that outlet pass to tight ends and to running backs. Receiving core, it's a little bit hard there, but I do like some Drew Lock. See what he can do in the passing game. That's what I've got.
Yeah, and Drew Lock has seemed to have a nice connection with Noah Fant, too, the rookie tight end from Iowa.
I like Noah this week.
Noah,
I do.
Yeah, Noah's been a good play. Pat Mahomes, people are, you drafted him high. You drafted him in the second or third round. You're not benching him. You can't bench Mahomes.
No.
I don't even care if you have Tannehill. I like Tannehill a lot, but you got to play Mahomes. He's got a banged up hand, but you know what? Last time they played the Broncos, Mahomes came out early, so expect Mahomes to want to play this game and beat one of their heated rivals, whose Chiefs are, as we mentioned, are favored by 9.5 in this game. There's a 45.5 over under. We talked about Philip Lindsay and Sutton a little bit. Lock, you're not streaming Lock just yet, but
No.
The young kid's playing well. And then obviously Tyreek Hill's an obvious play, and Travis Kelce's a stud as a tight end. You play him, and you're happy that you drafted him when you did. Let's move on to
Take it. Which one do you
Let's-
want to edit,
well-
basically?
we're going to have to go to a game we talked quite a bit about, so we won't talk much more about it. Is the Bears and Packers.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
Bears and Packers, oldest rivalry, and not just the NFL, but all sports.
Just a great
just
rivalry.
A great rivalry. Period. Love it. At our office at work, we have a flag hanging in the office that says "House Divided" with the Packers and Bears logo on it.
I like it.
We're right on the border of Illinois and Wisconsin, so. It is what it is. I might have to fire half my employees depending on what happens in the game on Sunday. So, just kidding. I'm not firing any of you. We'll see. So, anyways, they're both really good against the quarterback. Bears 7th, Packers 6th. They're both top 10 against QBs. So, I don't expect Rodgers or Trubisky to go off in this game. Running backs, that's where, he mentioned Aaron Jones, unfortunately, and even David Montgomery. The Packers are 27th against the run. This could be a really good game for David Montgomery, who we haven't talked about at all today.
Yeah.
I think he could be a good play. He could be an RB2 or a really good flex play if you need him this week. And wide receivers, again, they're good against quarterbacks. They're both good against receivers. They're both vulnerable against the tight end. The Bears, I don't have a tight end that I trust.
No,
the Packers,
that's the problem.
Jimmy Graham, maybe. I don't know, but I don't like starting Jimmy Graham either. He's the guy who might get you, 2 catches, 18 yards, maybe a touchdown.
Right.
So, anyways, but the running backs here, I think are your best plays. Defense, who knows? You might get the pick 6 or the punt return for a touchdown, but.
I think Pete Zito, you were asking before we were talking about that with Galladay and what have you. I thought you mentioned Robinson with the Bears, and you know what? Robinson did actually put up some pretty good PPR numbers against the Packers in Week 1. Robinson's been putting up good PPR numbers almost all year, especially the last 3 weeks. I like me some Allen Robinson in this game. Mitch Trubisky's finding him against good defenses too, which is rare.
They're going to keep feeding him.
Exactly. Much like Drew Brees feeds Michael Thomas, Trubisky is feeding Allen Robinson.
He has to.
He is a good play. Running back wise,
Yeah.
It is so hard because, these teams are vulnerable. The Packers are vulnerable against running backs. But when it comes to Montgomery or Tariq Cohen, you don't know what Matt Nagy's going to do.
Yeah.
And it's really, really tough to say,
Montgomery.
who am I going to play? I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think Montgomery is more of that ground and pound in Lambeau, in Green Bay. I like it.
I think he's got a rushing TD in him. He's going to get you in that 15, 18-point range.
Look, I have talked about how the Packers, I do believe, fantasy-wise, are going to put up some points. Do I think the Bears have a shot here to go ahead and take down the Packers and really make the NFC North fucking exciting? Yes, I do believe the Bears have what it takes to go ahead and put the W on the board in Green Bay.
Magic 8 Ball says he may rely on it.
Hey, look at that. It's going to be a good game. Watch
right.
your fantasy players.
There
and
we go.
let's move on
Can't
to
wait
the
for it.
last game.
Take us home. Take us
You
home.
start us out. You
All right,
start us
fine.
out.
All
I'll
right.
finish it off.
Here we go. Buffalo going into Pittsburgh Sunday night. You got 2 pretty good defenses. We talked about how the Bears and Packers are going against quarterbacks.
Yep.
Buffalo and Pittsburgh, you got 3 and 4.
Yep.
Bills are 3 against Steelers at 4 against QBs. So, I'm sorry to say, but it doesn't line up really well for Josh Allen.
Nope.
Or Duck Hodges. Neither one of them has looked like they're going to have a great game. Running back wise, again, Steelers backfield's kind of a mess. I'm personally staying away from all Benny Snells and Samuels and Connors and all them. I don't want any part of it. And it's a tough matchup for Devin Singletary. You know, Singletary's been doing well as of late, but Steelers are 5 against opposing fantasy running backs.
Yeah.
You know, whereas Singletary could be a good flex play, I don't think this is the week for him. Wide receivers, the Bills. You know, we talked about Tre'Davious White. You know, Steelers, Juju might be back. Washington, you know, he was getting some love last week. It wasn't Washington. It was Deontay Thompson.
Yeah.
So he was the guy getting the love. So, you know, I'm staying away from the Steelers receivers. You know, Buffalo's receivers. I love Josh Brown, but again, I don't know if I love him this week. It's just a tough week. The area that the only thing that, you know,
Smoke,
looking at the numbers.
Johnny Brown.
Looking at the numbers, the only thing that's opening up is maybe tight ends. You know, tight ends for Buffalo. You know, Bills are 3 against tight ends, so I don't see anything from Vance McDonald. Maybe something from Dawson Knox, because the Steelers are 20th against fantasy tight ends. So maybe that's where Buffalo has to attack the Steelers' D is over the middle and seam routes.
Could happen. You know what? Here's what I like. I mean, this is another great matchup, not just fantasy-wise, but overall. 2 really good teams, much like last week with Baltimore. Buffalo matches up friggin' well. This is your play, brother.
Thanks, pal.
Right there. Yeah, quarterbacks, hey, they're both right there. I do think Josh Allen is going to do a lot better than he did last week. He had the worst fantasy performance he's ever had last week. I think he's going to bounce back. It's prime time. It's Pittsburgh. You've got 2 blue-collar cities playing against each other.
Yeah,
this is what they do.
Game.
You look at the defensive stats that these guys have, they're all right there. One team's got an edge a little bit more on the other on a different position, but my goodness, is this going to be a really good game.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be fun.
I'm having fun with this one. It's going to be great.
Yep.
I like Buffalo, obviously, in this game, but you know what? Pittsburgh just doesn't do it for me. I don't like the Duck in this one. He's going to get bowled over by Jerry Hughes, by Ed Oliver, Shaq Lawson. It's going to be a rough go for him.
I like Tremaine Edmonds.
Edmonds and Matt Milano in
SOB.
that backfield by the linebackers.
SOB.
I love it.
It's going to be a good game Sunday night. I'm looking forward to it. Steelers are laying 2. We talked about the over-under.
Yep.
Jay said it's going to hit the over. We got to hit these rib tips and get the heck out
and
of here.
we got a game for you guys tonight. Baltimore and friggin' the Jets. Here you guys go. We got some rib tips going on, Rub style.
Buddy.
Had some beautiful sauce they're marinating in. We're getting ready to get out of here.
Hey,
I'm going to get my knee checked out.
Yeah, exactly. Get your damn knee checked out. Thanks for tuning in to Week 15 of TD's Beers and Tailgates. We look forward to a really fun Week 16 show. We have
Championship Week next week, baby.
Championship Week next week, and we got some fun stuff in store.
We do.
We got a little different things we're going to do with the show.
That's a big old yeah, buddy. Good luck to all you tailgaters out there, fantasy-wise. Woo!